Imagine your next opponent's BFF is none other than Lance Armstrong's drug dealer. Sketchy, right? Well, that's how Ryan Garcia felt looking over at Devin Haney and his nutritionist, Victor Conte. Remember, Garcia went ballistic in the lead-up to the fight. He skewered Haney for cozying up to the king of PEDs. And honestly, can you blame him?
Allegedly, and then on top of it, bro, he's working with literally the dude, Victor Conte, that literally helps people cheat and knows how to cover it up perfectly, and literally is almost like an alchemist when it comes to this. So, bro, if you ever think I'm on steroids, dog, at least I don't have the dude that was literally caught for steroids and got banned and then not banned, and now he said he's an advocate for clean sports, bro.
So why does Victor Conte's association with Haney raise more red flags than a Chinese military parade? Well, buckle up, because this guy's rap sheet reads like a who's who of juiced up athletes. Conte is the mastermind behind the infamous BALCO steroid scandal, where he supplied more pro athletes with performance-enhancing drugs than a shady pharmacist at a bodybuilding convention. We're talking heavy hitters like track star Marion Jones, Super Bowl winner Bill Romanowski, and more.
Are you saying that Marion Jones was a drugs cheat?
Without a doubt.
Their reputations crumbled faster than a house of cards in a hurricane once the truth came out.
I stand before you and tell you that I have betrayed your trust. I have let them down, I have let my country down, and I have let myself down.
But Conte's piece de resistance? A little designer steroid he cooked up called the Clear.
What did you give her?
The substance called the Clear.
This stuff was like the invisibility cloak of PEDs, specifically engineered to slip under the radar of even the most rigorous drug tests. It was like a get-out-of-jail-free card for cheating athletes, and Conte was the guy holding the monopoly board.
Yes, I've been called a lot of names, from Dr. Frankenstein to Saddam Hussein as the Adolf Hitler of sport.
Now, let's be real. Conte didn't whip up the Clear for the kids' school fair. He created this secret sauce with one goal in mind: to help professional athletes cheat the system and gain an unfair advantage over their competitors. And the crazy part, he bragged about it. It's like Walter White openly advertising his crazy substances on billboards across Albuquerque. Before we show you the next piece of comedy, remember to hit the like and the subscribe button to join the Cheetah Sports Pack. Haney's entourage are always decked out head to toe in SNAC gear, which for the uninitiated is Conte's supplement company. It's like wearing a t-shirt that says, "I may or may not be juicing, but good luck proving it." If that is not a fashion statement that screams suspicious, then I don't know what is. Let's not forget, Conte actually did time in the slammer for his role in the BALCO scandal.
I spent 4 months in a minimum security prison camp where we're smoking weed and
No.
you know, oh yeah, it was a sports complex.
That's right, he got locked up for peddling PEDs to elite athletes. In the doping world, that's like winning the gold medal in the cheating Olympics. And now he's back at it, hooked up with one of boxing's pound-for-pound best. But here's where things get really interesting. Haney's been catching heat for more than just his buddy-buddy relationship with Conte. People have been calling him out for being a straight-up weight bully. They're saying he's been feasting on smaller fighters on his way to the top of the pound-for-pound rankings.
You were the bigger guy.
Yeah.
And did you
and
feel that?
usually he's the bigger guy. Usually he's the weight bully. But the weight bully got bullied.
We're talking about guys like Vasily Lomachenko and George Kambosos.
Best punch in the round so far for Kambosos. Right hand over the top.
Lomachenko especially, a great fighter, but not exactly the same size as Haney. Lomachenko was heavily outmatched for size, but he nearly beat Devin Haney last year.
You can tell right away that size advantage. Loma looking a little thick around the waist area.
I like the young fella. He's feeling himself. Whoa!
So the question on everyone's mind, are Conte's supplements the secret to Haney's success? Is this how he's been able to cut weight and keep his size advantage over these smaller guys? I mean, up until Garcia exposed him like a cheating spouse on Cheaters, watching Haney's size advantage was sometimes like Godzilla stomping on a bunch of ants. And let's talk about Conte's big mouth for a second. This guy loves to yap about how everyone in sports is doping. He's got sources everywhere, apparently. The Jamaican track team, doping.
Fastest man. What do you think the likelihood is he's used illegal performance-enhancing drugs?
Using a very, in my opinion, effective performance-enhancing drug program. A lot of people talk.
When you say his entire career, do you mean Reese's or you mean Pacquiao's?
I'm talking about both.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
My opinion is that Manny Pacquiao was on performance-enhancing substances his entire career. And that's based on, I know a lot of people that know a lot of people that were around him as well, from the Philippines.
Heck, he might as well point out the obvious that The Rock and John Cena love a roid cycle or two. But the real kicker, he's never actually provided much proof to back up his wild accusations. It's mostly hearsay. Marion Jones, he said he watched her inject herself.
Marion didn't like to inject in the stomach area. She would do it in her quad. The Olympic Games is just full of corruption, cover-up, performance-enhancing drug use.
NBA, MLB, NFL, he said he knows. The list goes on and on. But back to Haney. At least a dozen athletes who've been under Conte's tutelage have been popped for PEDs. That is a pattern, folks. A pattern that's about as subtle as a brick to the face. Now I know some of you might be thinking, but wait, Devin says he's clean and has never failed a test. Shouldn't we give him the benefit of the doubt? Sure, and I've got some oceanfront property in Wyoming to sell you. Look, I'm not saying Haney is 100% guilty of juicing, but when you're hanging out with the Darth Vader of PEDs, people are going to start giving you the side eye so hard you'll think you've got a piece of spinach stuck in your teeth. And let's look at the evidence. Before his fight with Garcia, Haney was the big dog in his weight division, like a runaway train on steroids. Pun intended. But then he steps into the ring with a guy his own size, and suddenly he looks like he's fighting in quicksand.
Big left hand by Garcia! Rocks Haney early! Garcia said he was going to knock him out in the...
Out back.
Juggling attack, and down goes Devin Haney!
As frequently as it needs to happen.
Oh, he's got him right.
Coincidence? I think not. Maybe Conte's real skill is a killer stand-up routine, and Haney needs a good laugh between rounds. But in all seriousness, boxing is a brutal sport. When you are pushing your body to the absolute limit day in and day out, the temptation to get a little extra help may be harder to resist than a 2-for-1 deal on donuts. Look at what all the athletes who had used Conte's services said.
He was the king. I mean, he was the king, bottom line. If you want to cheat and you want to be the best at it, you want to Victor Conte.
But hey, maybe Haney is one of the athletes who will come out smelling like roses. Maybe he has got the willpower of a Tibetan monk and can resist temptation like a vegan at a Texas barbecue. At the end of the day, boxing is supposed to be about heart, grit, and the relentless pursuit of greatness. It's about pushing yourself to the absolute limit and proving that you are the best of the best through sheer force of will. And if guys like Conte are allowed to inject themselves into sport and smear every professional athlete under the sun of doping, then we might as well be watching WWE. So Devin, if you're out there listening, watching, here's my advice. Cut ties with Conte. Prove to the world that you are the real deal, that you don't need the PED King's services to be a champion. Show us that you can hang with the big punchers like Ryan Garcia, the guys your own size, without any asterisks or question marks hovering above your head. Because right now, your association with Conte is like a giant neon sign flashing sketchy over your head. And if you can't see that, then maybe that's why you couldn't see Ryan Garcia's lefts from 2 feet away.
Rocks Haney early. Garcia said he was going to knock him out in the
Outback.
and down goes Devin Haney.
As frequently as it needs to happen.
Oh, and he's got it locked in.
But hey, that's just our 2 cents. Is Haney getting a raw deal, or is the smoke coming off this situation thicker than Snoop Dogg's tour bus? Please let us know in the comments. And remember, winners never cheat, and cheaters never win. Unless you're Victor Conte, apparently. Then you just end up with a slap on the wrist and a cushy job advising the next generation of athletes.